today is butchering day for our meat chickens. And so we're running to the store first thing this morning. We're gonna get ice, a bunch of ice and barrel liners. We're gonna fill our big barrel trash cans with barrel liners and then put ice and water in there, and we're gonna throw the chickens in there after they're butchered to cool them off so that we can put them in our freezer and our freezer won't warm up. So but we did, before we start the whole butchering thing, we wanted to make a disclaimer for anyone watching. We know that butchering can offend a lot of people, and even people that eat meat get offended when they see it. And
just because we grow up so disconnected from it, right?
Yeah, in America, you never, ever. I mean, I'm 32, and my whole life, pretty much, I didn't ever see an animal that I ate get butchered. And so I think it's a little bit shocking, but it's just the way it is. If you ate at Chick-fil-A, your family probably ate 3 chickens. And so it is sad, but it is a reality of our world that, well, it can be sad for us, but I don't think it's actually a sad thing, because I do believe that we were placed in charge of animals and God gave us animals to eat. So anyway, and it's just kind of the way the world works too. Like, wildlife works that way, where everything eats everything. And we're actually, the reason why we're doing meat chickens is because, or any kind of animal to butcher, is because we're trying to do it right for our family. We're trying to do smaller scale because we don't believe in the big scale companies that do everything wrong. They
commercialized animals.
Right. They throw all these animals in one building, and because they're such large scale, they can't do anything with the, what do you call it?
Humanely, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's borderline or actually inhumane in almost every circumstance where animals are industrialized.
They don't respect the animal in any way, and I believe that that is wrong, and that is sad. That way of doing things is sad. You know, like taking the brand new baby chicks and grinding up all the boy chicks while they're alive. I mean, that's just wrong. There's no way that that is ever right. So our goal as a family is to make it so that we can live off our farm at least just a little bit and do it on a smaller scale where it's correct. It's done correct. Our chicks and our chickens are always happy. They grow up happy, and then they have their time to serve our family. And so and that's why I choose to use all of the animal, because I believe that that's important as well. But anyway, so we wanted to do a disclaimer that the butchering process will probably show. We're not going to show the killing, obviously, because people know how to kill.
You can find that on YouTube if you want to find it.
Yeah, so we have, how many chickens? I don't even know how many we have left.
20 or 21. Can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
it's hard to count a bunch of chickens running around.
Yeah, we lost a couple.
We lost 2 a little bit early. They didn't freeze to death. We had a really cold day, and a couple died in the cold because their hearts gave out. So we butchered and ate them still. They're just a little smaller.
And we're also going to butcher our big duck today. So I don't know how many that will be, but we're going to show the process and hopefully walk you through how to butcher as well. We have a plucker. We borrowed a turkey fryer, and that's going to be our scalder. And so yeah, we'll show you the whole process. We'll show you everything that we set up. So we're going to go home and get it all set up. Nice. Okay, we're getting everything set up. Oh, you do? Okay, you get to try it too. Okay, so we have everything set up for the most part. I'm going to show you guys what we're doing. These are the kill cones. So we'll have 2 birds at one time. So after they're done over here,
Butcher day.
then we're gonna come over here. Don't get close. And then this is the scalding water that we're gonna dunk them in for about 20 seconds. And we're gonna have the temperature at 145, between 145 and 150. You don't want it too hot, otherwise the skin will start to cook, and that's not what you want. So you just want hot enough to where the feathers can come off easily. So then you're gonna take it from here to the plucker. And in here, the plucker is gonna spin it around, and you spray the chicken while it's getting spun. The feathers are gonna come out the end, and then the chicken will look like basically what you buy at the store. Then we're gonna bring it over here, and this is where we will process the bird and, what? Oh, this is where we'll process the bird. So I have a bag for the hearts, a bag for the livers, a bag for the feet, and then we have a bucket for all the leftover. Then over here is our ice and water. We're gonna immediately put the ice isn't in here yet, but we're gonna immediately put the chicken in here to cool down. So we'll show you guys the process. We are about halfway through our butchering process, and I'm gonna show you guys what we do with each chicken. So Will has just cold one, and now we're gonna put it in the turkey fryer
145
to scald
degrees.
Yeah, so it has, we have learned that you don't want this to be too hot, and you don't want to put this in for too long. So,
If anything, too little.
yeah, if anything too little, because then the skin and the chicken will come off of the bone. So when it gets in the, what is this called?
Plucker.
The plucker. So then we're gonna put it in the plucker, and you'd want to spray it.
I try to cool it off first before turn on the plucker.
Yeah.
I think it helps decrease the chances that like the skin's
The
gonna
skin,
come off
yeah.
and stuff. And then about 10 seconds, you might want to back off because it can spray.
Yeah. And we've got this chickie over here.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Couple more seconds. And chicken just like the store.
Yep. Just a few feathers to pluck out.
Yeah, I could have let it sit in the scalder a couple more seconds. The temperature's constantly fluctuating on that thing, so, you know.
Okay, now I'm going to pass the camera to Will, and he's going to show how I've been butchering or processing the bird. Do you want to come over here?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll walk people through it. So what you want to do first is put it belly up. Take this piece of skin in the front, so this is the neck. Take this piece of skin and just cut the skin.
Do you have any kind of special knife?
This is just a paring knife. So you're gonna cut that open and kind of like take your fingers. This is all just skin and fat and stuff. So just take your fingers. Don't be afraid to like be a little bit rough. And then you want to get the esophagus and the trachea. So this is the trachea that leads, that's basically the windpipe, right? Yeah, I got it right. All right, yep, you can see that's where the air goes in. And then this down here, if you pull it up, is the craw, that little bag. So the craw is a little bit harder to find. So what I've been doing is just, if you can see the breast meat right there, and you just want to pull the craw away from the breast meat, and then I use my knife to just cut into this right here. So then you grab this, you take all of that. Actually, I'm going to take the neck out first. So take all of that we just cut, and you're going to go in kind of deep in that cavity and cut it all. Sorry, can you see?
Yep.
All right. And then, so then you have all this on the side. Just cut it off. And then that's just in the waste bucket. So now, we're gonna flip it over, belly up again. And we're gonna cut off the feet. I love to use the feet for broth. And you just cut right there in that joint. I don't always get the joint, but it doesn't really matter. So you just wanna cut into that bone. I don't think this knife is meant.
And then if you come at it from the underside, then you'll top side and then underside, you get it really quick.
Yeah. All right, so I keep.
That's the way I like to do it, top side, underside. There's like 4 or 5 different ways I've seen people do it.
Yeah. I just don't, I feel like when I go underside of things, I'm a little more worried about cutting my own finger, so I try not to, but there you go. So the feet are off. Now you want to put it back up, and this is the part that you want to be really careful. So this is the tail. I'm going to pull up the feathers. So we're going to try and get the digestive tract out without breaking it. So this is the tail feathers, and you want to go like right here at the very end. You're gonna cut through the bone. Gosh, this knife is hard to tell which way is which.
It's very symmetrical looking.
It is. It's kind of annoying. So here you can see me starting to cut through the bone. So you want to cut very slow, very gently. So I got through the bone, and then you want to cut a little bit more just to separate the tail feathers or the tailbone. So there's another bone. It's kind of hard to do. I don't know.
You basically see the whole circle of the vertebrae.
Yeah. Do you want to come on this side? I'm having a hard time because I'm trying to get you to see. There you go.
Oh, we can see.
Got it. So you want to cut all the way through, but very gentle. Don't go any further. So then on the sides, what I do is I find this bone on either side, and you kind of want to like rest your knife against that, because then you know that you're not going to go in too far. So just cut very gently. I'm going to come on this side. And this part probably is the longest part. It's going to take you the longest. And then you'll see these little fibers coming up. See that? You want to cut those. Kind of just slowly pulling this part away.
Well, and how long did it take you the first couple times you butchered one of these per bird?
The first one took the longest, but it wasn't even that long. Probably 15 minutes.
Feels like it takes forever because you're just being careful. You don't know what the feeling feels like.
Butchering a chicken really is not that complicated.
See, at this point now you can start to see that there's the outer cavity of meat and the inner cavity of all the guts, which are not punctured yet.
Yeah, so you don't, here you can kind of see that. You don't want to puncture that. And you don't want to get that. So you're just going to keep going around. Keep going around. Kind of turn your knife. Be very careful. Yep, you can see the digestive system. Everything coming out. All right. So here's another one. So here we go. This is what you don't want to cut.
If it looks like a worm, you don't want to cut it.
Yeah. Looks or feels. All right, so I'm going to put my finger on it, and I'm just going to keep cutting really, really gently all the way down. So now I'm going to take my knife, go around it. This is kind of coming out. All right, so you want to go all the way around all of this. Don't cut that. And just cut straight down.
See, so there you are.
So then we have it all. Now we're in the back. Probably don't want to stick your knife in there because the likelihood of puncturing something is pretty big, but you can like pull this apart. So you want to pull that pelvic bone apart, And then stick your hand in, and when you stick your hand in, you want to go like this all the way around and detach everything from the bone.
Which takes a surprising amount of force, right? It doesn't look
You're
like
just
you're
going
using
like
much force.
this with your fingers, kind of like,
Yeah.
you're not really using force, you're just kind of using your fingers to scrape off. You can't just pull these, they're not just going to come out.
You're breaking like one piece of connective tissue at a time,
Yeah.
right? There's probably like 8 or 10 pieces of
Yep. So
almost like really weak little rubber bands in there.
and there's still air in there, so occasionally it'll squawk. It'll go, or you'll hear the air coming out the back. So look, this broke. It didn't get punctured, it broke. So just don't get that on the meat. All right. So now the last thing to come out every time for me is the heart. So I'm gonna grab the heart. We keep the heart. And then
If UPS shows up right now,
they're gonna think we're crazy.
dude, they're gonna think we're nuts.
So I'm still scraping. I got everything. So now here, I'll lay this out. So, well, a part of the liver got removed, but normally the liver's a part of that. So you're gonna see right next to the liver, this is the gallbladder. It's bright green, and you do not want to puncture that. I did one earlier, and it's gross. It's like bright green.
You'll know you punctured it if it's like
So-
green.
Yeah, you want to sacrifice a little bit
Water.
of the liver so that you're not getting that. So then we got the liver, we keep that. All right, this is just all stuff that you don't want. This is the stomach. So what we're gonna do is try and separate everything as much as possible so you can tell what's what. So what I do is just chop this. I've actually never used this for anything.
Kind of give the gizzards to our chickens because it's a pure muscle.
Yeah, I mean, people eat them, but so what I do is you can just chop it either way and just empty it out.
For those of you guys who do not know about bird anatomy,
Yeah,
it's
you can
actually
see the
really
rocks.
cool.
Rocks and grass.
Their teeth are basically in their stomach, so they eat rocks and food, and their stomach is a big muscle that just crunches it all together. So super simple. So if you see birds eating, they literally just gobble stuff down. There you go. So that's why the gizzard is edible, because it's a giant muscle.
So then we put it in here, and we're gonna give that to our chickens. And then this is just all waste. I'm gonna get rid of all that. And then the rest, we do have a lung scraper, but I haven't been using it. I mean, I probably could, but
Which, by the way, don't actually buy a lung scraper for $30. Buy a $3 tomato corer. It's essentially the exact same thing. It does help for those times where there's like a tricky piece of connective tissue in there.
yeah, I just haven't used it. I don't know. I don't think it's bad if you have a little bit of lung still left in there. But anyway, this is the finished chicken. And then what we do is we take this chicken, and there's still some feathers on this guy.
Yeah, I could have let it in the water a little bit longer.
Yeah, let me pull these out real quick before it gets cold.
Like I said, the water temperature is always fluctuating a couple degrees, so I oftentimes
really
don't get it
know.
exactly right.
Yeah.
I always veer towards under because it's a lot easier to pull out 10 feathers than it is to like
Well, you kind of know
deal
when
with a
it's
bird
done.
that got destroyed because you left it in too long.
Well, you know when it's done when the skin starts to come off of the feet. All right, so we have this finished chicken. This is basically what you would buy at the store. Hold on. I'm gonna cut this last piece
And then
off.
there's our icy trash can. We chill them for two reasons. One, so they don't go bad or continue to grow bacteria while we're butchering all the others. And also, if you don't bring them down to temperature, our freezer will take a day or two to come up to freezing temperature if you throw 20 warm birds in there. So,
Yeah,
ta-da, there it's in. And that's how you butcher chicken.
that's it. It's pretty easy, and it's actually way faster. I was explaining it, so it takes about like 5 minutes a bird, probably.
Yep. So,
There you go.
finish up the rest of them.
Okay, we are done with our processing, and now we're doing the bagging part. So, show these. So far, this is what we have. This is our one Pekin duck that we have, and then these are our chickens. So what we do is we pick up our frozen chicken in this
Excuse me.
bloody Icy water. Okay. We get a chicken.
These are basically heat shrink bags made just for chickens.
These are poultry bags.
Poultry bags.
Poultry shrink bags. So what you want to do is shake it out. Shake out the water. Put the straw that they give you in there. Stick the chicken in, head down.
And ideally, it's going to want to gravitate towards the corner, but it's going to look a lot better and just kind of shrink better if it stays in the center. Twist it a little bit around the straw. Zip tie it off. Pull the straw out a little bit because the air's got to be able to escape. You don't want it kind of pushing down into the meat.
Okay, try follow him over there. Show him how he dunks it.
Dunk it in for a few seconds. Make sure that air can escape.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, there you go. So I usually wiggle a straw a little bit. If you don't, that air will not escape. All you do is dunk it for 5 seconds. By the time you get to the table, it has shrunk out. Remove the straw. Crank the zip tie. You got a chicken.
This is what you'd buy at the store, only this is
Better.
way better. These chickens had a good life. Are we done?
Yeah.
We are done. That was a really long day, wasn't it, Dad?
It was,
Yeah, it
but
was.
It'll be,
with 2 infants, not too shabby.
we have 3 kids and 2 babies. So to get all this done with 5 kids was quite a feat. And I am ready to take a shower. You have gloves on. Perfect timing, huh, Dad? He has his
gloves, bro.
Hiya! Che, come here. Come look at all the chickens.
Look at all the food.
Look.
This one is the duck.
Look, Che.
What one is this one? The ducky, the yellow ducky.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah. Is that any more duckies?
Yeah, we still have ducks in the coop. And we still have some chickens. We're waiting for 3 of our Cornish cross to get bigger. So that'll take a little while, but.
And they'll be easy butchers.
All right. Good day. We did it. We're done.